Wow, loud claps of thunder woke up many overnight, including me. This is video I shot in my neighborhood early this morning. You can hear the thunder was so active overnight, it even caused car alarms to go off in my neighborhood. Well, hey there, friends. Good morning to you. 6 a.m. here. A lot to get to this morning. This morning, that thunder and lightning caused a few power outages across the inland northwest, so we want to start things off with that. Taking a look at Avista's outage map right now, this is welcome news. Now power is restored to many. Right now, it's just over 460 people without power. Earlier this morning, it was over 1,000, or 2,000, I should say. Now, we are seeing more outages, most of those outages in the west central Spokane neighborhood and the Fort Lakes area. For the inland power area, there are about 36 outages right now, most of them north of Cheney. There's no estimate on when power will be back on, but we'll keep up on this one and let you know. And taking a look at Kootenai Electric, more than 2,200 people are without power in the Plummer-Worley area. We want to get to meteorologist Thomas Patrick now in the Weather Center tracking this active weather overnight. Thomas, you forecasted this for us and told us it would happen, but nonetheless, it was a surprise to be woken up to it overnight.
I wouldn't be surprised if anybody flinched at that kind of thunderclap, especially when it's that close. By the way, if you're ever wondering how long it takes between the lightning and the thunder, for every mile away the lightning strike is, it takes 5 seconds. So when it flashes and it's thunder, you know it was really, really close by. But most of this activity is already starting to wind down even as of this hour. So if you are up well before your alarm, like even most of us were, well, we're not expecting really much more activity for the rest of the morning hours. Not quite in the clear just yet, but we don't see anything downstream or towards our south and west that would show us that any rain is on the way for the Spokane area. Maybe just a few drops of rain kind of around Coeur d'Alene right now. You look up towards the panhandle of North Idaho, there are still a few thunderstorm cells and a few rain showers between Sandpoint, Newport, and up towards Bonners Ferry. It looks like Bonners Ferry is the city that has most recently heard that thunder as of this morning, but by 8 a.m. we should be concluded with this activity. And even in Spokane, we can see the sunshine that is just streaming through some of that cloud cover. So we will start to see more sunshine and more warmer conditions and drier conditions for the rest of the afternoon. 8 o'clock at the latest will be any kind of rain or storms. After that, we'll have a drier day ahead, but still plenty warm with our temperatures topping out at around 90 degrees.
Well, when it is this hot, it can be dangerous to be outside for long periods of time. Last year, the Spokane City Council made an emergency ordinance that modified city code to broaden the requirements for when cooling centers need to be open to the community. So this was when Spokane saw several days of 100+ degree temperatures. The first criteria was the city has to open the cooling centers after just 2 days of 95 degree temperatures rather than the previous 3 days of 100 degree temperatures. The City Council also passed an ordinance allocating $150,000 to emergency warming, cooling, and air quality centers. Now to a big update this morning on a construction project on Thor Street. This is all a part of a major project expected to last until November. KREM 2's Malia Kamal is there right now. Malia, thousands of people rely on this road and are anxious to hear an update. So can you tell us more about what progress construction crews are making?
Yes, I have lots of updates. Today joining me is Kirsten Davis. She's the communication manager for the city. Now, Kirsten, all the main, roads leading up to South Hill have some kind of construction. It's been a little frustrating for drivers. Can you tell us why these projects are happening around the same time?
Right, so we always have a construction season, obviously, and this year we have $80 million in projects, which is one of our larger years, and some really high traffic areas. So we understand that it's frustrating, but really want to remind people to use those detours as they are set up because it's for everyone's safety, and it really helps with traffic flow. It may not seem like it when you're in it, but it really does help with it, in the big picture.
And you guys just got a new piece of equipment. Tell us how that's impacting the construction and how is it helping out?
Right, so we were able to work with a big machine. It's called a slip form paver. It's mainly used for interstate highways and airport runways, so it lays large sections of concrete. The concrete's going to be the game changer in this corridor because it's the kind of traffic that it gets with the freight. It's heavy, and then the volume of traffic is huge. So while this is taking a long time, the payoff is that we won't have to shut this road down, this corridor down in the future for potholes as much and things like that. So while it's taking a little bit longer, that's good. We've had the challenges of concrete shortages. Rain and concrete do not mix, and as everyone knows, we've had a lot of rain this spring and summer. So this section has taken longer, but because of that machine, we're able to do it much quicker than we would have otherwise. So.
And right now, what are we looking at as far as Sprague and Freya? You were seeing that the road looks like it's complete, it's almost there. What are we looking at right now?
Right, so this is the westbound section of right where the couplet splits between Thor and Freya. And so this section is done. This week we are paving between 5th and Hartson. And then next week we'll be doing kind of those loose ends. So, making sure that the curbs are correct and all of those sorts of things. And then it'll take us about a week to do the traffic plan to switch that over. So we're still a couple weeks away from doing the flip over to the other side.
And this project is going to wrap up around November, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the entire corridor project will take the full construction season, but we are on track to do that. Even though this section took a little bit longer, we're on track to do that.
Well, perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. And coming up, Kirsten and I will be talking about the construction on Hatch Bridge Road. In Spokane, Malia Kamal, KREM 2 News.
Malia, thanks for that update. Well, a welcome sight. The record high gas prices across the nation and right here in the inland Northwest continue to fall. The average price of a gallon in Spokane is sitting at $5.08, and some stations are actually even below $5. So the average price for gas in Washington state is $5.34 a gallon, and this is all according to AAA. But now new data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration says gas sales are declining. Washington is seeing a 5% decrease, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's almost 500,000 gallons of gas per day. The two main reasons boil down to more people working from home and people using different types of transportation because of the rising gas prices. Local media in Texas released new surveillance video showing law enforcement in Uvalde, Texas. Police waited more than an hour to take action after a gunman entered an elementary school, killing 19 children and 2 teachers. Now, we do want to be transparent and tell you our team here at KREM 2 had a lot of conversations about if and how to share this story. The video does not show the violence and the sound has been removed, but we still want to warn you that the video may be upsetting. Police officers wearing body armor are seen waiting in the hallway during the massacre. While difficult to watch for local residents and many people around the world, some people say that the video brings much needed transparency.
You can't dispute what's on video. And at that point, then you can go after the people that dropped the ball.
In a statement, Texas Department of Public Safety Director Steve McCraw says the video provides horrifying evidence that the law enforcement response was a failure. In the meantime, the Uvalde City Council accepted the resignation of Councilman Pete Arredondo yesterday. Arredondo, of course, was the Uvalde School District's police chief. In his resignation letter, he says he stepped down to minimize further distractions. The families of the 19 children and 2 teachers were at the Uvalde City Council meeting after that video was released yesterday. The families were supposed to see the video before it was released publicly, but it was leaked to that Texas newspaper first. Uvalde City Council members say the gunman's movements and gunfire were not going to be included. The Uvalde mayor criticized the early release of the video. A member in the audience, though, says the city should be attacking the police who did, quote, nothing instead of the media.
You guys can get grazed like sheep. Y'all are attacking the media. Y'all should attack. Yeah, y'all attacking the cops who did nothing.
You're missing the point, Adam, because you don't want to hear but what you want to hear.
They need accountability. They need to come forward and, just take accountability on what they did and quit pointing fingers.
Meanwhile, some family members are in Washington, D.C. They are attending a rally today to call for stricter gun control laws and an assault weapons ban. At 6:11, it is time for your morning rush. More news in less time. Coeur d'Alene police are still looking for the relatives of a newborn abandoned at an apartment complex earlier this month. The child was reportedly born just hours before being found. Police are still looking for the mother or anyone related to the baby. Anyone who might have any information is urged to contact Coeur d'Alene police. Happening today, a class of 60 medical students will begin their journey to becoming physicians. They will be the first students to begin classes at the new UW-GU Health Partnership Building. The UW School of Medicine and Gonzaga formed a partnership in 2016 to advance the health of communities throughout Eastern Washington. Well, Boeing is hosting an in-person job fair in Spokane Valley this upcoming Monday. Boeing is looking for people experienced in engineering, manufacturing, and fabrication. Anyone interested should apply online at boeing.com before they go to the fair. It's happening at the Marabou Park Hotel and Convention Center between noon and 6 p.m. Well, this is pretty cool. Tonight, you can catch a full moon and a supermoon. A supermoon is when the moon's orbit brings it closer to the Earth than usual. And something really cool happening tonight, Walter's Fruit Ranch is hosting a moonlight strawberry picking event. There will be food and live music. They'll be open from 8 a.m. this morning until 8:30 p.m. And that's a look at your morning rush.